Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. Dawadabanya Yashala coming out with another episode of bringing out those precepts. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Abanawa Yahweh, Bahashim, Hawashai, Bashem, Rakar Kadash, true Father and deliverer and Savior's name in ancient Paleo Hebrew, Lashawan Kwadash. Hope everybody's doing most high blessed. Again, Dawadabanya Yashala coming out with another episode of bringing out those holy precepts. As we coming to these folly days here in Babylon the Great, the United Snakes of America, these demonic so-called holidays. I'm going to title this sit down, Happy ThanksKilling. Okay? The name of this sit down in this lesson is Happy ThanksKilling. We're going to go a little bit to the history of this so-called land America and bringing out these biblical precepts. Okay, let's start with the book of Amos, Amos 5 and verse 15. Amos 5 and verse 15 reads, hate the evil and love the good and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahweh thy power of hosts will be graciously unto the remnant of Joseph. Okay, we're supposed to hate the evil. Okay, and we got our Israelite brothers and sisters out here, the ones that are turning away from the Most High. They're getting ready to celebrate this so-called ThanksKilling, the killing of our people. Okay, that's the whole spirit. I'm bringing out these lessons. Okay, Amos 5 and 15 again. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahweh thy power of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Okay, and we know Joseph, for all you unlearn, is Ephraim, the modern day so-called Puerto Ricans, and the Cubans, Manasseh. That's the remnant of Joseph. Okay, let's get another precept in the book of Amos. Let's go to Amos 9, and I'm going to start reading from the 8th verse. See what the Most High thinks about this kingdom. Okay, Amos 9 and verse 8 reads, behold, the eyes of Yahweh thy power are upon the sinful kingdom. Behold, the eyes of Yahweh thy power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from the face of the earth. Okay, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh. Okay. Behold, the eyes of Yahweh thy power are upon the simple kingdom. What simple kingdom? Babylon the Great, the United Snakes of America. Okay? And it reads, I will destroy from the face of the earth. Is the Most High saying he's going to destroy the earth? Negative. No. Okay? This simple kingdom he's going to destroy from the face of the earth. Okay, let's get another verse. I just want to bring this up for you Israelites to know the judgment for celebrating these wicked days out here. These wicked folly days, as we call them. Amos 9 and 9 reads, for lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel amongst all nations. Like as corn is sifted in a sleeve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Okay, the Messiah. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel from amongst all nations. Why? Because the Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Let's get another verse. Amos 9 and verse 10. And it reads, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Okay? The Most High is killing all the 2/3 Israelites that turning away from the law, statute, commandments. This is why I'm bringing this up before we get into this lesson. Read it again, Amos 9 and 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Okay, now let's go and get into a little bit of history, because I know a lot of you folks out here have Apple laptops, Apple phones, Apple whatevers. I mean, and nobody does research. Let's go into the history. Okay, and this is the so-called records of the conquistadors. You see what I mean? The oppressors. The title of this the Ozarif America, home of the Israelites. I'm gonna briefly go through this because I already did a lesson on this. Okay, Ozarif America, home of the Israelites. The name of the land beyond the great rivers, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses unto the time of the restoration, according to 2nd Esdras chapter 13, reading from the 45th verse. Okay? Columbus identified America with this land. Okay? Let's get a little bit more history. I'm just going to skim through this because I already did lessons on this already. You can see it on my page. The 9 tribes of the Moorish Empire that were here before the arrival of Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon, in 1492. Read it again. The 9 tribes of the Moorish Empire that were here. How could Christopher Columbus discover America when there was people here? Somebody answer. America was known as Ozarif. For all you unlearned that don't know the history of America. Okay, and these are the 10 tribes of Israel. Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Simeon, Issachar, Zebulun, and Joseph. Okay? You can go back to that lesson if you want to find out more about this article. This is their writings. I'm just going to skim through it and just bring out some key points, bringing out some history. Let's start here. The American Revolution in 1776 did not put an end to the efforts to discover the origin of Native Americans. On the contrary, the belief that they were descendant of the lost Jewish tribes reached a new peak following the War of 1812. Dr. Aaron Shalev of Haifa University recounts in his book, American Zion. You want to write this down? Do some research. With the publication of A Star in the West. Very good book. I've read it. It's a very good book, very informative. Or a humble attempt to discover the lost 10 tribes of Israel, preparatory to their return to their beloved city, Jerusalem. It became a bestseller during the times of the Second Great Awakening, a Protestant revival movement of the early 19th centuries. Okay, I'm just going to cut through some of this. Let's go into Ozarif. Renamed America. Okay, for all you unlearned that call yourself Americans, this is who you'll say that you're from. Okay, Ozarif renamed America after an Italian explorer, slave trader. Amerigo Vespucci was born in 1454 to a prominent family in Florence, Italy. As a young man, he read widely, collected books and maps, and even studied under Michelangelo. While in Spain, Amerigo Vespucci began working on ships and ultimately went on his first expedition as a navigator in 1499. The expedition reached the mouth of Amazon River and explored the coast of South America. The second voyage in 1501, Amerigo Vespucci sailed under the Portuguese flag. His ships followed South American coast within 400 miles to the southern tips. Tierra de Fuego, land of fire, translated. Tierra de Fuego. While on this voyage, Vespucci wrote 2 letters to a friend in Europe. He described his travels, and he was first to identify the new world of the North and South America as separate from Asia. Until he died, Columbus thought he had reached Asia. Amerigo Vespucci also described the culture of the indigenous people and focused on their diet, religion, and what made these letters very popular, their sexual marriage and childbirth practices. The letters were published in many languages and were distributed across Europe. They were much better sellers than Columbus' own diary. Okay? So Vespucci's writing even had more weight than actual Christopher Killing Columbus, as I like to refer to him. Again, you can read, I cover this a whole lesson. I just want to skim to this and get to the so-called ThanksKilling so that all you unlearned people know what you're celebrating here. Okay? This is one of the very numerous instances that seem not only to suggest, but to actually prove that indeed, somehow, in some way, a number of biblical Israelites managed to leave the Holy Land over 2,000 years ago, and by the hand of Yahweh, found their way to the shores of what today we call the Americas. So who was here before Christopher Killing Columbus? Who did they conquer? The biblical Israelites. Just giving you history because a lot of you don't know it. A lot of you don't know it. After you can see Salakia. Archaeological evidence to establish this claim is rather significant and widespread. There are numerous archaeological artifacts that have been found throughout the Americas, specifically here in the United Snakes, as I call it, that are clearly thousands of years old and written in either biblical Hebrew or later block modern Hebrew script. These include full inscriptions of the Ten Commandments etched in stone and written original pre-Babylonian biblical Hebrew script. There's even one claim that an ancient pair of tefillin, meaning psalms, have been actually found buried in an Indian burial ground. Again, I'm just giving you history. All the talk, we know who we are here. That's why we're being oppressed here in this land. In 1775, Englishman James Adair, after living with Native Americans for 40 years, recorded his experiences and published a book about them in London entitled The History of the American Indians. Almost his entire work is dedicated to documents and prove that the Native American tribes of Central and Southern Territory, soon to become the USA, were definitely of Jewish origin, and to this day maintain a sizable amount of their ancient Israelite heritage. He goes as far as to say that the tribes that he knew worshiped a single Elohim, a creator, who they called in their language but Yahweh. No W's in Hebrew. A book created quite a stir and was widely read. Again, just giving you brief history. Check out my page. You can see the whole lesson there. Let's keep on. Even President Thomas Jefferson in 1803 was aware of Adar's book and made mention of it in one of his letters to John Adams. Jefferson quoted Adar's belief that all the Indians of America to be descendants from the Hebrews, the same language, usage, rites, ceremonies, the same sacrifice, priests, prophets, the fast, the festivals, almost the same religion, and that they all spoke Hebrew. What was the original language before our oppressors conquered us? We were speaking Hebrew. Okay? Let's keep it moving. It just talks about like the Jews, the Indians offer their first fruits. They keep their new moons, the Feast of Expiration at the end of September and the beginning of October. Talks about our ceremonial laws. There are many allegories between the Hebrews and the Indians in that which concerns various rites and customs. Okay, the use of bad fasting, the manner of prayers. The Indians likewise abstain from blood of animals. We don't eat blood. That's why we have to eat everything well done. And also from fish without scales. We don't eat fish without scales and fins. It's in our dietary law, Leviticus the 11th chapter. They consider diverse prayers unclean. Also certain birds and reptiles. They're all listed in the book of Leviticus chapter 11, which is the Levitical law. and they are accustomed to offer as a holocaust the firstling of the flock. Okay, let's keep it moving. It is very informative. Again, let's get to the point. I want to talk about this ThanksKilling. Give y'all history, because I know you don't. I bet if I ask anybody here where it did originate, who put it in effect. Let's go right here. Ironically, the first official day of ThanksKilling, as I call it, was proclaimed in 1637 by Massachusetts Governor John Winthrop. Do your research, folks. If you want to celebrate this, do your research. He did celebrate the safe return of English colony men from Mystic, Connecticut. They massacred 600 to 700 Paraquats, so-called Indians, collectively known as the Lord's 10 Tribes, and we identify one as being the tribe of Gad. After the English colony ministered to them, they laid down their weapons and accepted Christianity. No, we didn't accept it. It was forced upon us. They were rewarded with the vicious and cowardly slaughter by their new brothers in Christ. You see that? This is what you're celebrating here. Okay, ThanksKilling is the murder, the rape, robbery, murder of our own people. Okay, wake the hell up. Okay, this is what you're celebrating. When you put that turkey in your cranberry sauce, which means the blood of our people, you feel me? That's why this whole lesson has to come out through the Spirit of the Most High. Okay? Google it. The first official day of ThanksKilling was proclaimed in 1637 by Massachusetts Governor John Winthrop. Point blank, period. All you Israelites that are still keeping these folly days, ThanksKilling, Halloween, Xmas, Esther Day, the 4th of July, all of them here, they're all demonic. Okay, point blank, period. Let's get into this lesson. Let's talk about this. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 10. And it reads, there shall not be found any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of time, or an enchanter, or a witch. The point is, we're not to observe time. Okay? We're not to observe time. Period. It's against the law. And I know a lot of you Israelites don't know it. That's the reason why this lesson has to come out. Salakia. Deuteronomy 18 and verse 11. Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or wizards, or a necromancer. Basically witchcraft, period. Witchcraft, sorcery. This is all what it is involved in. Deuteronomy 18 and 12. For all that do these things are an abomination unto Yahweh. And because of these abominations, Yahweh thy power doeth drive them out from before thee. Okay? Celebrating these and observing time is an abomination to the Most High. Point blank, period. Okay, let's get into some of them. I talked about ThanksKilling, but let's talk about observing time. Let's go to the book of Job. Job 1 and verse 4. And it reads, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. Okay, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone in his day. What day? His born day, his birthday, and sent and called them and called for their sisters to eat and to drink with them. Let's get another verse. This is Job chapter 1 verse 5. And it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the numbers of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed the Most High in their heart. Thus did Job continually. Right here, Job is sanctifying, making prayers to the Most High because of his kids celebrating their day, their born day. Okay? Point blank, period. Let's get another verse staying in the book of Job. Job 3 and verse 1. Job 3 verse 1 reads, after this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. Okay? After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. Let's get another verse. And Job spake and said, Job 3 and 3, let the day perish wherein I was born, and let the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. So right now we understanding Job, it was a righteous man. Go to Job 1 and 1. Job was righteous with the Most High. And he said, what? Let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. Okay, let's get another verse. Job 3 and verse 4. Let that day be darkness. Let not the Most High regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it. I hope you folks are getting this thing. You're not supposed to observe time. I gave you Deuteronomy 18. Read it for yourself. Chapter 18. You're not supposed to be observing time. You're not supposed to be keeping these folly, wicked days here in Babylon the Great. What did I read in Amos? All the sinners of his people, they're going to die by the sword. Okay? It is what it is. It is what it is. Just giving you the bringing out these precepts. Okay? Let's get another verse. Let's see what verse 5. Job 3 and verse 5. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. Okay? Can't make this up. You're not supposed to be an observer of time. When you celebrate these holidays, when you celebrate your birthday, when you all these wicked folly days here in Babylon the Great, they're all of the devil. Okay? You biblical Israelites, you need to wake up. Okay? You're not supposed to be observing time in these folly days. Let's talk about let's go to Ecclesiastes 7 and 1. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 1. And it reads, a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. You understand that? A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death is better than the days of one's birth. You understand that? That's why we're fighting for eternal life here. You see that? That's why we're fighting for eternal salvation. That's why we're living by the law, statute, commandments, so we can have eternal life just like our King, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who this world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. But we know he's a Hebrew Israelite. It is evident that our Lord sprang from Judah. Okay? He's an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Okay? Let's get another verse. Ecclesiastes 7 and 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. But what are all you demonic people going to be doing on so-called ThanksKilling? Y'all going to be in the house of feasting. Okay? It is better to go in the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to their heart. Okay? Simple as that. Let's get another verse. Ecclesiastes 7 and 3. I know a lot of you don't know this in this Bible because y'all don't know this book. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Okay? Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Ecclesiastes 7:4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the heart of mirth. Okay? Again, you people don't understand this. I mean, show me one precept in the Bible where the Most High and His only begotten Son walking on earth was setting up all these so-called, demonic days and observing time. Okay? Let's get one more verse, Ecclesiastes 7:5. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the songs of fools. Okay? I think I've covered it enough. Okay, you're not supposed to do in these days. It is better to be mourning than to be feasting in this land. We're in captivity. Okay, let's get a precept. Let's go to the book of James in the New Testament. James chapter 4 and verse 7. James chapter 4 verse 7 reads, submit yourself thereto the Most High. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Submit yourself therefore to the Most High. Resist the devil and he shall flee from you. Let's get another verse. James 4:8. Draw nigh to the Most High. He will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Okay? You can't be a double-minded because the Most High is going to spew you out of his mouth. You can't be lukewarm. You can't, it's either you're serving the Most High or you're serving the devil. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. James 4 and verse 9. Be afflicted and mourn. Oh no, we're partying on we party on ThanksKilling. We everything is everything. Stop it. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Okay? Hope you can see the correlation between Ecclesiastes that I read in the Old Testament about sorrow and feasting, and James 4:9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. I'm going to get one more precept and I'm going to have to end this and I'll make a part 2. James 4:10. Humble yourselves in the sight of Yahweh and he shall lift you up. Okay? Humble yourself in the sight of Yahweh. And he shall lift you up. Okay? Again, Yahshua, I'm just bringing out this for this so-called coming of ThanksKilling, as I call it, this whole sit-down. I'm a title, Happy ThanksKilling. For all you Israelites, do your research. You're celebrating on the day that we were robbed, murdered, and raped here by these conquistadors, and you're celebrating and committing idolatry with this turkey where everybody sits around and want to say prayers about it. Okay, I'm gonna come back with part 2. Yasha Allah, Shalom.